During SpaceX's initial static fire test, all 6 engines on the Starship 24 prototype were successfully started up. The extra heavy Booster 7 prototypes had previously undergone successful testing, but more testing is still to come. To complete it by the end of the year, SpaceX has committed to conducting its first ever orbital flight test. Welcome back to another exciting video from Informed Now. Today's video is about Elon Musk revealed first static fire lifted 300 tons Raptor engines will change everything. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Can SpaceX continue to be successful? One more step to Mars house. According to SpaceX, the static fire was successful because it ignited 24s of a ship in a dramatic test. It was setting the neighborhood on fire. Over 8 seconds, the static fire 6-engine test generated 1,380 tons of thrust. It is currently one of the longest static fire tests Starbase has ever carried out. Ship 24 underwent 7 prime spin tests in conjunction with the testing of its second likely orbital-class prototype due to the Raptor 2 engine improvements performed before the static fire testing. Compared to the 6 engines on Ship 24, SpaceX is less cautious. Its previous P, for its static test, Ship 20 only had 4 engines installed. The boat also needed 23 weeks to conduct its first static firing altogether. Less time was needed with the Ship 24, though only 1 Raptor engine was burned for a brief time during the static fire test for engineers to evaluate the engine's performance at maximum power. Booster 7 with 33 Raptor 2 engines was also launched. SpaceX needs to put 3,400 tons, or 7.5 million, of fuel into the accelerator for the upcoming wet dress rehearsal. Each second, the massive accelerator expends 25 tons of energy. The booster testing has been anxiously awaited since a previous attempt in July ended in a detonation just a few seconds into the test. As a result, several modifications were made, including overhauling the engine chill-down procedures. The current chill-down system uses methane, gathered and disposed away of the oil, lemon, and new pipe system. This mechanism may or may not be around in the future, but for now, it provides security. There must be more pre-launch testing by SpaceX. Despite the prototype's numerous issues, the static fire was generally successful. 30 TPS tiles fell as a result of the test pressure. During static fire testing, the car is grounded, so the vibrations from the process cause the tires to release from their pin sockets and fall away. The orbiter's app loses some tiles due to the solid rocket booster activation shock. This is due to a mistake in calculating how much water misconception was needed for the SRP sound suppression. This accomplishment follows the Texas facility. The Polka Kai prototype burned to the ground. The engine spin start test brought on the explosion. Elon Musk and SpaceX had previously stated that the company would not conduct another spin test using all 33 engines at once to install additional blast shielding and protect the building's interior from static fire to prevent the same issue. There were 50 more workers hired. Additionally, according to Elon Musk, Booster 7 was sent back to the Starbase for reinforcement. Booster 8 will also be hauled out to the launch pad. One of the Raptor vacuum engines of Starship 24 was changed, possibly because of issues that surfaced during static testing because of its connection to the solid rocket booster work being done to update the water value system. The potential ship's 24 partners will be a WD battle, or wet dress rehearsal. The launch system will undergo its next major test to determine its preparedness for those. Without actual eye, the wet dress rehearsal simulates the entire launch process. They are preparing for the first orbital journey. Starship 24 and Booster 7 are currently in orbit, according to SpaceX. The information indicates that SpaceX intends to use the orbital trip to gather data to understand space better. It is challenging to model or simulate such experiences digitally accurately. Future simulation models will be improved with the information, which will also be used to influence future system modifications. While preparations are being made for the vehicles used in subsequent launches and building work in the shop, substantial construction at the Starship Florida launch site in Florida is almost concluded. While the Launch Complex 39 is still being established, the final component of the ship launch tower is being placed. The carrier system is about to deploy, and the ship will quickly detach. The arm could now be extended to the pad. Due to issues like the FAA violation, the first orbital flight test was originally scheduled for July, but Elon Musk now expects to carry it out by the end of the year or in the summer of 2023. If there is a further delay after the successful conclusion of the static fire testing, the Starship upper stage will be affixed to the top of a heavy booster, most certainly for this first exam. The Champion will shut down, do a partial return, and splash down 20 miles off the Gulf of Mexico coast at 169 seconds into the flight. Its engines will start firing 5 seconds after the upper half separates, and it will pass over Florida. The spacecraft will carry a precision landing 62 miles off the Hawaiian island of Kauai if it stays on course. The complete process should take at most 90 minutes once in orbit. Additionally, it is anticipated that the upper stage will only half-orbit the globe before landing for the orbit. The success of re-entry and orbital insertion will also impact NASA's artistic endeavors. Preventing the upper stage from exploding as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere is the biggest challenge of orbital flight, a significant setback, and a chance for the business to learn as they attempted to adjust if the rocket disintegrated during the first orbital test. This license is contingent upon the environmental assessment of the Boca Chica, Texas Starship launch activities. Current Starbase. This does not include the preliminary environmental impact study that SpaceX released as it prepared to use Falcon Heavy vehicles for launch operations. Doing this ensures that the launch activities will maintain the area's environment, quality of life. The Boca Chica neighborhood has put up with having a rocket manufacturing live next door. As their actions intensify, community members are left worrying about how it will affect them, obstruct the fire that the Starship 24 caused. Test fires added to the community's growing anxiety. Others contended that SpaceX did not act appropriately to prevent the fire from encroaching on the adjoining wildlife refuge. The business used spray nozzles and high temperatures for concrete to control the situation. They only called in the nearby firefighters later. Even at the SpaceX dumpster in the east, the burning debris ignited the contents, which burned for several hours. State Route 4 also could be more helpful. The single-access road to and from the location is frequently blocked during SpaceX operations. Additionally, it obstructs access to the shore. The FAA has permitted SpaceX to keep developing and testing Starship vehicles, but they must take measures to reduce their environmental impact. The firm must correct its 75 infraction and provide greater notice before launches to reduce the length of the sentence. 4 is finished. SpaceX must also meet FAA risk, safety, and financial responsibility standards before being granted a license to perform launch operations. We expect SpaceX to get busy and launch Starship 24 into orbit for the first time after receiving the request. Do you think Elon Musk and SpaceX will successfully launch a satellite into orbit this year? Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.